One of my friends was telling me that he had been invited to participate in a group where it's by invitation only. You're invited to small dinner parties and you make dinner together and sit around a table. One of the rules when you go into it is that no one knows your last name and no one knows what you do. I just love that because one of my pet peeves is the question, what do you do? Now, I realize this is and has been for forever a go-to question when you meet someone. It's a conversation starter, but it's old, it's outdated, it's uninteresting, and so limiting. What do you do? It used to always make me cringe because either I didn't have a job that had an article before it. I'm a lawyer, I'm a doctor, I'm a journalist, or I was in the process of reinvention and didn't really know the answer, or I was doing something that I wasn't proud of and I didn't really want to answer that question. My life was so much more than what I was doing for work. Anyway, I recently published a bonus episode called Lionhearted When Ordinary People Do Extraordinarily Kind Things. And the person who was being interviewed, my friend Talia Shafir, when I asked her to set the stage and give some context for the conversation, and I said, tell people what you do, she chuckled and said, well, in this iteration, I am. And I just love that language, in this iteration. I mean, hopefully by the time we're 50, we've done many different things and we can answer that question in many different ways. Or better said, we are more interesting than our job title or our profession. This is a true story. After I left Scout Talent, I was telling people at first that I was on sabbatical. That always sounds good. Then I would tell people that I was doing philanthropic work and tell stories about all the things I was doing. I was on the board of Artolution. I was going to South Africa with my brother on a literacy trip to do training at a Montessori school. I went to a women's prison. But the truth of the matter was, I was petrified of not having an answer. I know that may sound crazy, but it's true. I was raised to be a worker bee. I have been earning a paycheck since I was 8 years old, and that's the truth. Work is a high value in my family, and not having an answer to what do you do still today can make my stomach clench. Anyway, after I got over the philanthropic piece and little by little extricated myself from those commitments, I remember I was talking to a friend of mine, Jenna, she's a coach, and I basically confessed to her that I didn't know what to say. As I've mentioned before, I was in a process of rewiring my operating system and unlearning so much. And I said to her, I don't know what to say. And she said to me, just respond with this. Right now, I'm really excited about. I liked that, but it didn't really work for me. And still today, it makes me a little bit nervous when people say, what do you do? I just find that so old and outdated. It brings to mind one of my besties who is a pediatric neurologist, but she's also a teacher, a writer. She's authored a couple of books. She's a naturopath. She's a plant expert. She has an online business. She's an astrologer. I mean, how uninteresting is it to say to someone, what do you do? I think we need to come up with a different way to start a conversation and to show interest and curiosity about someone. And I'm not sure I know the answer to that. I do like the question, so what are you up to these days? Or what has your attention these days? But that can sound very informal when you don't know someone. I'm working also with a lot of young people who feel like they have to have an answer. And I just wish someone had explained this to me when I was young. A profession is not a once and done. That's for the lucky few, the musicians, the scientists, the artists that have a calling. They are the lucky ones. They are the minority in the world. During the course of a lifetime, most people have many iterations. We have many different jobs or businesses. We are ever changing. You need the next best thing, the next thing that lights you up, that gets you excited, that makes you curious. So I love what my friend said on the interview. In this iteration, I am. We need to come up with a better way to ask the question, what do you do? We need to teach our children from a very early age that there is no one thing. That's such old think. Sorry if this sounds like a rant. It is a bit, and I'll just end with this. In this iteration, I'm a podcast creator and producer and an aspiring writer. Ooh, I like that. So, what are you going to be in your next iteration? Or how are you going to answer the question, who are you after work hours? That's a good one. Who are you after work hours? That's all for now. Until next time, from my heart to yours.